Happy Sunday and welcome to Unity of Sacramento Live. I'm your host, Rev Kev. My friends call me that, and so can you. I'm on a mission to inspire and empower everyday people to live extraordinary lives, and we invite you to be a part of this Unity of Sacramento journey. And when you journey with us, you're journeying into what we call the beloved community, a community that is inclusive of you no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter who you love, no matter how you vote. When you're with us, you're at home. And this week, we are voting. This is a historic election, and we have a question that we're exploring this week on Unity of Sacramento Live. What are you voting for? Tune in and let's find out. Let's go.
Take my hand, I'll stand by you. Come whatever, I'll see you through. We will live in harmony when we stand in unity. Take my hand, I'll stand by you. Come whatever, I'll see you through. We will live in harmony when we stand in unity.
I'm going to make it. I've decided within myself I'm gonna make it. And I don't care what people say about me. I've got to do what's right for me. I'm going to make it. I'll get a brand new start. I'm tired of faking it. I've got a lot of love in my heart to lead and guide the way. And I'm not feeling sorry for myself ever again. I'm not afraid to reach out. I'm not afraid to win. I've got love on my side. I've got self-esteem. I've got pride. And I am sure if I try, I will win. So you can make it. With God on your side, you can take it. God will give you strength to make all of your dreams come true. Yes. And I'm not feeling sorry for myself ever again. I'm not afraid to reach out. I am not afraid to win. I've got love on my side. I've got self-esteem. I've got pride. And I'm sure if I try, I will win. I will win. And I'm not feeling sorry for myself ever again. I am not afraid to reach out. I am not afraid to win. I've got love on my side. myself ever again. I am not afraid to reach out. I am not afraid to win. I've got God on my side. I've got self-esteem. I've got pride. And I'm sure if I try, I'll win. I believe I'll win. No matter what it looks like, I'll win. No matter what it feels like, I guarantee you win. I win.
Come on in, beloveds, and let's gather in, let's draw in for an opportunity to connect in prayer. We know how important prayer is now more than ever. In fact, you can probably feel the prayer vibration, the prayer field that's being activated all over this country and all throughout the world. We know that all of the events that we see happening right now in our nation and globally that shock us and traumatize us and challenge us, they're one big prayer request. They're prayer requests for the possibility that our world can be. And so we invite you to gather in. We invite you to gather in just as you are, however you are, whatever spirit you're carrying, whether you're uplifted or whether you feel downtrodden. Come into this safe place where we have an appointment with the God of our understanding. And just take a few deep breaths with me. We know that breath itself is life. And if I can, in the present moment, connect to my breathing, I can find power to address my circumstance, whatever that circumstance may be. And so take another deep breath with me. Come on. And let it go. And then one more time, one more deep breath. And let it go. And this week, I want you to enfold your own body temple. And I want you to envision this symbolic of you blanketing the world. A world that is challenged, a world that is hurting, a world that is traumatized, a world that is torn apart, but also a world that is resilient, a world that is determined, a world that is breaking through the old paradigms and that is reaching into the new possibilities for what we can be, a kind and just global society. Symbolic of embracing yourself, see that happening with blanketing the world with this love. And wherever the places and spaces are in the world, in our nation, in your home, in your community, in your city, in your county, that is calling forth healing love, see it going there now. Bring to mind those in your neighborhood of concern and just enfold them now. Enfold them now. That social distancing does not have to mean spiritual disconnection. That we can find ways to be close even now. And so bring your beloveds into this place, into this space, into this time. Those of that are on your private prayer list. And we remember this week in our private prayer list, John Tibbles, as he continues to move through his healing process. We see it happening for him, and we bring Marche into this healing process. We bring into this healing vibration Valerie Ross and her family as they continue to release their mother. And you know the names of your beloveds. You can choose to type them in the chat room. But we blanket them with love because we know love is the great healer. We bring the Hillside International Chapel and Truth Center family in Atlanta, Georgia, where the late, great Reverend Dr. Barbara Lewis King has since made her transition just a few days ago. We bring all of Hillside and that family in with us as they continue to release their spiritual mother and establish a new norm. We bring the nation, all of the parts of the nation, the North and the South, the East and the West, and every place and space in between, the Midwest, all parts of our nation. And we see the red states and the blue states becoming the United States. And now we see it right. Just see it right. It's right for you. It's right for your family. It's right for your county. It's right for your state. It's right for your region. It's right for your country and the world. And now let's just know this loving presence. We give thanks that we see the unity, the unification, the coming together. We see the throwing off of all of the partisanship and the ways in which we press each other apart from us. And we see the global heart opening. We see each other through the soft eye, the eye of forgiveness, the eye of reconciliation, the eye of cooperation, the eye of understanding. We see healing happening in our homes, in our bodies, and in our communication, and in the places and spaces where we find ourselves. We see justice prevailing in places and spaces where justice is required. And we see peace prevailing on earth. We trust that your presence is with us, in us, through us, as us, and around us as we go forth to be the very light of the world. So help us, God. We hold that vision and we look forward to experience it, celebrating it, expressing it from this day forward. Amin, Ashe, Aho, Hotep, Namaste. And welcome to another edition of Unity of Sacramento News Live. I'm your host, Rev Kev, here with my main man, 100 Grand. Rev E is in the building.
Good to see you. Welcome back, Rev.
It is good to be back and good to be with you and all of you. We want to start this episode out by saying happy birthday to all of our November birth months. We are so excited to be celebrating what we know is going to be a November to remember. Big shout out to Dr. Christy. Happy birthday, Dr. Christy.
Happy birthday, Dr. Christy.
And to Tracy. Happy birthday, Tracy.
Happy birthday, Tracy.
Happy birthday to Sadie.
Happy birthday, Sadie.
And happy birthday to our own Dr. Dave. Happy birthday, Dr. Dave.
Happy birthday, Dr. Dave.
We will be celebrating all of you all November long. Big happy birthday. And if you've got some November birthdays, put them in the chat room and shout them out right now. Just shout out all of the November birthdays.
Yes, and speaking of shout out, I just want to thank everyone who wished me a happy birthday last week. I had a wonderful time. Thank you so much.
I just love the love that Unity knows how to pour on, yeah?
Yes, without a doubt.
And I have to say the same thing, you know, you guys know how to make a brown man blush. And the love, the cards, the letters, the gifts, the financial blessing that you gave to my family and I, all of the ways in which you show your appreciation from the bottom of my heart, me and Anita and all of my little Ross Bears, we thank you. And it has been our great joy and to serve you for 10 years, and we're looking for 10 more years. And here's just a little taste of some of the ways you showed up for the anniversary drive-by. Watch this.
Happy anniversary to ya. Happy anniversary to ya. Happy anniversary. Happy 10 years. Happy 10 years. Happy 10 years. Happy anniversary to ya. Happy anniversary to ya. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary to ya. Love you, Rev Kev. Love you. We love you.
Again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the ways that it was epic. I said I can't take it. I can't. I just can't do it again. So let's celebrate. Give it 2 more years before we do another celebration, because I just could not. I couldn't. And then a big thank you to you, Rev E, and your leadership during my away time, and the AV team for all of the ways that you showed up, Ajani and Chris and Farah and all of you who made the time away easy. You just held it at such a level of excellence. And our board of trustees, thank you so much for the ways in which you've shown up. It's been just
Janelle, thank you.
Good recharge. Janelle, yes. And she definitely took leadership on. So thank you all so much. You made it so rich. Okay, enough about me, and let's look back at what's happened here. We want to thank the team that put on our Trick or Treat drive-by event. Thank the team on our behalf.
Fall festivities are on. They are officially on. What a fun time. The costumes,
Look at all these
treats.
costumes. Look at how beautiful our kids are.
Amazing.
Indeed. And we thank you all for the ways you showed up to make sure they had sweet treats and just a little safe fun during this pandemic. We can still find ways to treat ourselves to our little ones. Yeah?
Yes.
It was great. Thanks so much for that. And so, though we are closing the campus for Thanksgiving, we're still opening our hearts, and we're having a drive-by Thanksgiving community feast. And what that means is you'll get an opportunity to reserve a meal for you and someone you love and drive by. And our members of our board of trustees are going to be available to make sure that you get them securely and safely. And if you want to be a part, if you want to be one of the helping hands, you want to make a meal and make sure that it's a part of our drive-by event, by all means, contact our board president, Hung Lee, who's leading the charge. You can see the information right here on the screen for how to reach Hung Lee, and she will help you get on team and be a part of this very special time of year. None of us should be alone, and we should all have a happy Thanksgiving. We're gearing up for it right now. I'm looking forward to the creative spin we have on it this year.
Yes.
And just know that all of our preparations and the way we're doing things are safe.
Very important.
We're thinking about that. All of that thought has been given, okay? Well, I want to take us one step further. We're just a couple of days away from perhaps one of the most important elections in our nation's history, many would argue. And it's coming up in just 2 days. And we want to make sure you're there to do it. And guess what? Unity of Sacramento is a polling place. It always has been,
Yes.
and we hope it always will be. Even if you have an absentee ballot that you haven't mailed in yet, because it's kind of close, you can complete your absentee ballot and bring it to the campus. Make a plan to vote. Make a plan to get your voice heard through voting. Why is it so important that our people vote?
Well, I believe that you've said it before, that our votes are our voices, and
Yes.
we need to have our voices heard. And this is a sure way, a certain way to be counted, to feel counted.
And so there's so much at stake for you, for me, and for all of those that we love. And we can do our part to be a force for good in the world. And as you've heard in my talk today, you know how important it is. And so please make an opportunity, make a plan, and get your voices heard through your vote right here on the campus. You can come right here at
Yes.
Unity of Sacramento. And if you don't have your ballot, we'll print one right out for you on the campus. It's all possible right here, okay?
Yes.
Let's have a massive turnout here, Unity. And we're grateful for our volunteers with SAC Unity Votes. I'm so happy for our friends Deanna and Deborah, who have been leading the charge, making sure that you all are educated on the issues and the ballot measures and
Yes.
propositions, yeah?
Very, very important, and I'm thankful that they really did show us what's on the ballots this year.
Yeah. And I know it matters to you, it matters to me, so make sure to get out and vote. All right, it's time for our mail call.
All right,
Mail
well.
call.
Well, we're so thankful for those who mail us letters week by week, and this week is no exception. We have mail from the Dennisons.
Thank you, Dennisons. These are serial givers to Unity of Sacramento. We bless you, Dennison family.
And right behind the Dennisons are the Freemans.
The Freemans, yes, they do. Bless you, Freeman family. We love you and thank you for your generous support.
And always lovely to hear from Thriffinia.
Thriffinia, thank you so much, Thriffinia. We appreciate you.
And Manuela and Roy Smith.
Manuela and Roy, we're so grateful for your support and your generosity. I heard, Rev, you got a special gift for what were those beans that you got from the
Oh,
Smiths?
they were Crowder peas.
Crowder peas.
Yes.
Yeah?
Not any brand of Crowder peas. These were the best brands from Louisiana. You know, my wife Valencia is from Louisiana, and the Smiths, they are also from Louisiana. Manuela is in particular, and we got into a wonderful conversation about it, and the next thing I knew, I had a bag of the best Crowder peas in the world.
I mean. Well, I'm looking forward to you putting them to some good use, and you know, I'm your closest friend.
Yes, you are.
I'm just saying. And again, we're so appreciative for all the ways that you reach out to us and just continue to be a powerful invitation to your friends and your loved ones, your neighbors, to really press for the change that we wish to see in the world through our voting this week. So important.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and you know what? We've got a special surprise for you this week, so get the kids. Kayvon is back, and he's coming up right now. We'll see you next week.
Hi, my name is Kayvon, and it's playtime.
Okay, Kayvon, I'm going to go
okay.
out. I've got to go vote. I'm on my way to vote, and I will be back. I want you to be well behaved.
I can't wait. It's time to go voting. It's voting time. Voting time. It's now voting time. Time to go voting. We're going voting. Voting, voting. I'm going voting. We're going voting time. time to go voting. Yeah!
Well, Kayvon, you know,
What?
you won't be able to go with me this time.
What do you mean I can't go?
That's because you're too young.
Huh? I'm in the 3rd grade. I should be able to vote.
You in the United States of America, in order to vote, it means you have to be 18 years old, and you're in 3rd grade.
Well,
So, no, Kayvon, not this time. You won't be able to go with me this time.
well, I have my voting list all made out.
Well, then let me see this list, mister.
Okay. Well, well, then you're gonna have to vote for me, Rev Kev.
Okay, come on. What do you have here? What do you have?
Well, Rev Kev, since I can't go with you to vote, I made a special list of things that I want you to make sure that you vote for, okay? So you get to vote for me. So here's my little list. Ready? There it is. You ready for this? All right, I want to make sure that we have candy on all the treetops. I want you to make sure that the veggies are recalled. All vegetables everywhere in every grocery store, everywhere are recalled. I'm so sick of those veggies. I want you to make sure that there's clean water for my cousin in Flint, Michigan, because he says the water there is filthy. I want you to make sure that all the fires are put out in California, because the fresh air while I'm playing is a mess. I want fresh air while I'm playing. And I want a big house for all the people who have no place to live, and an end to COVID-19, and world peace, and hair grease. Got it? That's all on the list right there. So to help you remember it, here's what I want you to say in your head, okay? What I want for voting when Red Kev goes. Candy on the treetops, veggies recalled, clean water for my cousin, fresh air while I'm playing, a big mansion for the homeless, and an end to COVID-19.
And then into COVID-19. I got it, okay? I got it. I gotta go, okay? I'm gonna vote. Bye. Gotta go.
Get it. Vote.
You know, even though we're gearing up for the holidays and getting excited about this ensuing season, it's not lost on us that we're still moving through a rather serious period in our country's history. We are moving through a global pandemic. And here to give us some pointers that he's calling the top 5 is our own Dr. Dave, how we can move forward even more cautiously than we think we need to. Watch this.
Top 5 with Dr. Dave.
Top five.
Tonight, the top 5 COVID wrongs you should get right. Number 1, I already had COVID-19 once, so I'm good. So this point gets to this idea of reinfection and whether or not one can have the virus one time and then get reinfected by the same virus again. And the truth is, we know that it can now. It's been shown. Nor does it even make sense that it couldn't infect you again. Remember that this is a distant cousin from the coronavirus that causes the common cold. How many of us have had a cold twice in 1 year? So it sort of makes sense that this thing can reinfect you. Here's the question. At what cost? We now are seeing that there's long-term consequences to coronavirus. We have no idea what a second infection is going to do, short-term or long-term, because nobody knows. The question is, do you want to be a guinea pig? I can tell you, for me, you can count me out of that whole experimentation right there. Number 2. Yeah, I got it. I got COVID-19. I had some muscle aches, I had a fever, had a cough for a little while, but now I'm okay. So no biggie. No biggie? Well, not yet. So here's this whole idea of what we call long haulers. I know it's a terrible word to call people a long hauler, but what the implication there is that you can have long-term consequences of COVID-19 that are far beyond the symptoms that you just got over. In fact, there was a study that showed there was active damage, like real damage to the heart and inflammation, months after the symptoms had passed. Here's a question for you. What's the long-term damage to the reproductive organs? Nobody knows. I can't tell you that it affects the reproductive organs. I can't tell you that it can. We're just learning about this. Guess what? There's no force field around the ovary. There's no force field around the testes. Why should we think that it can affect all the major organs but then don't affect those? But here's the point. It could be, if you're 18, 23 years old, it could be more than a decade before you figure out what the reproductive consequences of having COVID-19 are. And you may never make the connection. And the truth is, nobody can tell you one way or another if it does or doesn't. Don't go out into these crowds because you think there's no big deal. It's a big deal. Number 3, Doc, I have no symptoms. I feel fine. So I know I don't have it. So we know that not to be true. We know that not to be true because about 40% or more, I believe that there's more, of the people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms whatsoever. We call them asymptomatic. That means that they can have it, be sitting right next to you, and spread it to you. You can't look at them and know that they have it. They look at themselves and don't know that they have it. They don't have any symptoms. The asymptomatic spreader, in my mind, is the wild card in this whole pandemic. It is the reason why it is spread so easily, because a person unwittingly will spread that to many, many people. These so-called super spreader events are asymptomatic spreader events. These are people who are in these groups, these crowds, with no mask, have no idea that they have it, and are spreading it from person to person. Number 4, kids and adolescents don't get it. And if they do get it, they'll be fine. Listen, I remember when we were first saying that somehow there's some kind of, shield in the nose of kids that keeps them from getting COVID-19. And I knew then that didn't make sense, and we know now that it doesn't make sense. It turns out that kids may have the highest viral load in their so-called nasopharynx, way back where they're putting that swab. The kids may have the most, and therefore could be spreading it, again, without any symptom, without knowing. Here's what happens. When we start to bring the kids back together, when the schools open back up and the universities and college open back up, the numbers go back up, which is why I say here and why I say on national television, when humans get together, no matter what their age, the numbers go up. When humans stay apart, the numbers go down. Number 5, Doc, I'm tired of this. I'm getting back out there. I can't take this anymore. Trust me, I know that this is difficult. I know that this is hard. Everybody in some way, shape, or form is affected by COVID-19. But let me tell you what's wrong right now. If we go back out because we can't, hunker down in this storm, what ends up happening is we douse this flame with gasoline. And if you think you can't bear with it now for a few months, imagine if we have to live like this for years because we haven't pulled it together. I'm asking you right now, if you want the world to open up, if you want to go on your vacation, if you want your sanity back and you want your kids out of the house and going to school, stay away from large crowds and wear a mask if you can.
Top 5.
Some of you have taken it, some of you have not. Whether you have or haven't, no one knew what to expect. It's the COVID-19 exam. And if you've yet to take it, then we have a leader that will show you exactly how to do it. If you were frightened, don't worry. We have something to lift your spirits and give you courage. Watch this.
I am here in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm at the CVS pharmacy about to self-administer the COVID-19 exam. So here we go. Oh my God. Okay, so in here, I am to go in and take out a swab. This is the swab. Look at that. that crazy? All right. So I'm gonna peel the swab. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, okay. Holy cow. So this is supposed to go in the nose and one nostril each and turn it for 15 seconds. Oh God. Okay. All right. Oh, I need to see this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. There you go. And then you're turning it. Woo. Oh God. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Woo. Okay. That's supposed to happen for 15 seconds. Oh my God. God. Okay. I guess. Woo. Okay. I think we got. Okay, that was about 15 seconds. Okay, that was 15 seconds. Now I'm supposed to move it to the next nostril. Holy Jesus. Okay. All right. Okay. And you're supposed to move it into the stopping point. Okay. Oh my God. This is just a natural reaction to sticking this thing that far, you know. Let me see if I can get through this. All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. All right. Excuse me. Holy Jesus. Okay. That was about 15 seconds each. Now, I'm supposed to insert this bring this into this glass tube. Holy cow. Oh my God. All right, so it's a fluid in here. Okay. Now I'm to put this inside of here. Okay. And she says I'm gonna break this off, the top part off. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, it's coming right off. So broke that off. Now I'm gonna put this on, this cap on. Seal that good. So that's sealed up. My Lord. So that's pretty firm. Alright, so it is now sealed up. This is in there. And I'm gonna drop that back in the bag as she instructed, right? So put that in the bag. She said leave the paperwork in here. Say specimen and container, plus the test, and the rear pouch. Is that the rear pouch? Place the test. Requisition pouch, yeah. Zip the bag from, oh shit, let the air out of the bag. Lord have mercy. Okay. Sealing. Okay. Now we are to drop this in this box over here, Quest Diagnostics box, and we're done. So I just self-administered the COVID-19 exam, and I didn't die, but it's an experience. If you need to get tested, go get tested and help save lives. Peace. I did it. I'm alive. Whew, and I'm sneezing. Okay.
Now that's what I call leadership. Wasn't that hilarious? Listen, start sending in those memes again. We miss them, and I know some of you could use a laugh or two. Send them to the address below, and we look forward to seeing all of those wonderful, funny memes that we know and love.
So we can sing it like this. I'm fearless. I'm fearless. I'm fearless. I'm fearless. Anybody hear it? I'm fearless. Yeah. I'm fearless.
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 I'm fearless. You can sing it.
I'm fearless.
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 If God is for me,
God is for me.
who can be against me?
Who can be against me?
If God is for me,
God is for me.
who can be against me?
Who can be against me?
When God opens the door,
God opens the door.
no one can close it.
No one can close it.
When God opens the door,
God opens the door.
no one can close it.
No one can close it.
I'm fearless.
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 I'm
Listen to
fearless.
this. When God gives you a dream,
God gives you a dream.
God will supply the means.
God will supply the means.
When God gives you a dream,
God gives you a dream.
God will supply the means.
God will supply the means.
When God gives you a dream,
God gives you a dream.
God will supply the means.
God will supply the dream.
When God gives you a dream,
When God gives you a dream.
God will supply the means.
God will supply
Oh,
the means.
I'm fearless.
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 Oh, I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless. Here's
I'm
another
fearless.
affirmation. God is for me.
God is for me.
So who can be against me?
Who can be against me?
God is for me.
God is for me.
Who can be against me?
Who can be against me?
I'm too blessed to be stressed.
I'm too blessed to be stressed.
I'm filled with happiness.
I'm filled with happiness.
I'm too blessed to be stressed.
I'm too blessed to be stressed.
I'm filled with success.
I'm filled with success.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Oh, I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Yes, I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Oh, I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Yes, I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Oh, I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Yes, I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Woo! Woo!
Come on, Lord.
Yeah. spirit of fear, but of power and love. In a prosperous mind, I'm fearless. I'm fearless. I'm gonna say it for you one more time. God didn't give me a spirit of fear, but of power and love. In a prosperous mind, I'm fearless. Yeah, I'm fearless. Help me with that choir. Say it. God didn't give me the spirit of fear, but of power and love. In a prosperous mind, I'm fearless. Hey, I'm fearless. Sing that with us. God didn't give me the spirit of fear, but of power and love. And a prosperous mind, I'm fearless. Hey, I'm fearless.
I remember being a little guy, and I would often look at my parents and wonder, why were they wasting their time watching the news when they can be watching cartoons and reading newspapers when they could be playing video games? I would look at them and be bewildered as to how much time they were wasting not enjoying life, but rather being engaged in what seemed to be so unimportant, insignificant. And my children look at me today often in the same way. When I'm busy watching the news, when I'm busy sitting for, sometimes it seems hours, contemplating the weighty matters of the day, or talking with my wife about some of the challenges that are facing our country and our world. And they wonder about why it's so heavy for us. I'm reminded of that passage of scripture that states that when I was a child, I thought as a child and I spoke as a child. I reasoned as a child, but when I became fully grown, I put away childish things. And at somewhere along the way in my development, I began to lay aside gradually this preoccupation with the immediate pleasures, instant gratification, that which would only please me, the sweet and syrupy and sentimental things of life. And they are important, they're really important. But I somewhere along the way, my appetite began to change from the cotton candy and sugar-coated this and that to something that was greener and healthier. I don't know when it happened, but I started watching the news and I started paying attention to what was going on in life. And then I looked up, and I was my parents. And at some point, it happens to all of us, that we actually wake up to the fact that we all have double duty. That's what I want to talk to you about today. Double duty. Your spiritual and civic responsibility. Double duty. Your spiritual and civic responsibility. Follow me for a minute with a couple passages that I just want to lay down for your consideration, starting with Luke 12:48. You've heard it said before, but I want you to hear it again in light of where we are in these times, where we are right now. To whom much is given, much is also required. To whom much is given, much is also required. Sit there for a moment, and then I want you to think again with me. Same topic, same consideration. Matthew 22:21. Matthew 22:21. Render therefore unto Caesar, this is Jesus speaking, render therefore unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. And so I want to go back to that first one, that first passage that says, to whom much is given, much is also required. I think along the way, I became aware and awake that if I wanted the world to be a place that was safe and that was a kind, just global society, a place and a space that my children could run freely in and enjoy life, that if it is to be, it was up to me. You might want to type that in the chat room just to get yourself started right now. If it is to be, it is up to me. Somewhere along the way, I stopped believing that there would be someone somewhere up in the sky, flying down, sweeping down to save us. I know we're waiting for somebody to come back. I know we're looking for someone who has extraordinary powers. But here's what I want to remind us of today. That the world that we're looking to have, to enjoy, to rear our children in safety is the one that we are required to produce. Take a breath right there. To whom much is given, you are the whom much has been given. Now, what are you given? What are you given? This is what I want us to be aware, awake, and alive about. I want us to be aware, awake, and alive about. You are given more than a set of circumstances that you have inherited right now. Sometimes we think that what we have been given are our circumstances, or our pre-existing conditions, or the health that we have or don't have, or the poverty that we have, or the wealth that we have. That's not what I'm talking about. You have been given much. What is the much? You are a complex, threefold natured being: spirit, soul, body. Spirit, soul, body. That means that embedded within you, embedded within your very soul, is the very presence and power and the very love of God. That divine presence that hangs the stars and balances the planets in perfect symmetry. You have access to this powerful intelligence, spirit, that is powering everything about you right now. And I think what's very important for us to remember is that our disconnection from source often leaves us feeling like we are victims of circumstance, victims of conditions, victims of the stories that we have inherited. Are you hearing me today? When I'm disconnected from my source, I often feel powerless. I often feel inept to make any changes. But you have been given much. You've been given direct access to the one that sent you here. Think about that for a minute. You're not from here. You're from the outer dimensions, the inner realms, the spaceless, timeless, eternal dimension, and you're chock full of divine power. That's number one. That's what you're starting out with. Your ground zero is your divinity. And then you have this second part of your being, which is the intellectual part of you. You and I have the capacity to think independent of circumstance. Hello, hello, hello. Thoughts are things. I am the thinker that thinks the thought that makes the thing. I've got the ability to think about what I think about. I can think independent of circumstance. So whatever world is presenting itself to me, I can think higher than the realm of circumstance that I'm finding myself in. And so if I don't like the conditions that I'm finding myself in, I can begin to think about it differently and have a higher thought. I have the capacity to think. Most of us are mentating. We're not thinking. And so when I'm not really thinking, I'm mentating. What is mentating? Mentating is when I am recycling the social and mental waste that is populating the world around me. I'm just recycling catchphrases and slogans and stuff that's out in the world mind. I'm not really thinking. What is thinking? Thinking is the movement of ideas through my consciousness. Fresh ideas, new ideas, divine ideas. I am moving those ideas through my consciousness, and then from that I am producing energy to manifest on those ideas. When I am actually thinking, and you've all been in a creative process, if you've ever participated in a brainstorming process, you're thinking, you're opening up your consciousness to something bigger and bolder and more powerful than you can even imagine. You've gotten yourself into that realm where the idea sphere is, and the ideas start to release inspiration. And with that inspiration, you can take that inspiration and move it into manifestation, manifest forms. That's how we change circumstance, by catching a higher idea. And when we are moving ideas through our consciousness, we are thinking, and energy is being released. And so we want to look at the world around us, and we want to condemn everything that we see. What we're being called to do is don't hate, participate. Participate in the higher realms of thought that then pulls circumstances up to the idea sphere, the ideal realm. You're spiritual, you're intellectual, and then you're physical beings, threefold beings: spirit, soul, body. You are the place, the physical location where light, love, wisdom, power, substance, intelligence, radiance, all of the gifts that you have, creativity, all of that is pouring through this physical vessel called you. And the question is, am I unleashing that in this physical place that's called my physical being, or am I somehow bypassing it, allowing someone else who appears to be more purposeful, more engaged, more woke to do both my duty and their duty? Oh, I want to see things change, but I don't want to go to the city council meeting. I'm not showing up to the PTA meeting. No, I won't go and look into what's going on in the school board. No, I won't be in my neighborhood association. I'm not going to do it. Somebody else is going to have to do that. I'm not going to run for office. I won't be engaged because that's not spiritual. No, here's what the master teacher was trying to get over to us. Because remember, that kind of conversation is the childish things for which we are evolving past. We are not prehistoric man who's only concerned with himself and the things around him. But as we evolve as spiritual beings, as we evolve as most complete humans, most complete in our humanity, then we move from the I, me thinking to the us, we thinking. I become completely concerned with the totality of the condition of humanity. And so I have to lay aside the selfish, egoic, me, centric thinking that leaves others behind. When I became fully grown, when humanity reaches its full potential, it lays aside childish thinking. So they asked the master teacher, always trying to trip him up and trick him, is it lawful to pay tribute to Caesar or not? In other words, they were asking Jesus, should you pay taxes? Because the temple required a tithe. That you had this responsibility as a Jewish person to contribute to the temple through your tithe and your service. the same way we have here in this spiritual community. Our spiritual responsibility is to support the spiritual community through our big giving and through our tithing and through our sacred service. But does it mean that because I'm spiritual that I have no civic duties? And so they thought that they would trick Jesus into saying that one was more important than the other. And then Jesus turns it around and tricks them when he says, no, render therefore unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. You and I have double duty. When we become fully grown, there is this idea of integrating all aspects of the self so that there is wholeness and congruence in the way I move, in the way I live, move, and have my being in the source. Yes, I am concerned with the matters of my soul. I am also concerned with the matters of the place and the space where my soul has physical residency. I want to make sure that the world around me is healthy and whole and is reflective of the values for which my soul has been called. So yes, tithe, support the spiritual community. Support the work of God in all of the various ways of generosity through your sacred service, big giving, and holding up in prayer the field out of which your soul receives its nurturing. And there's this other dimension of the self. You have this civic responsibility to be a force for good in the world. And we have been given certain agency in our present society. In our present society, we have been given charge to help the society evolve to be most inclusive, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. This more perfect union is being perfected by our spiritual maturity. And what is this spiritual maturity? The clearer I am about the values for which I stand, the values for which causes justice and equity and a world that works for all, those values, as they become more and more articulated and grounded, anchored in my being, I then want to ensure that the society matures with me. Even as my soul prospers, so goes the country. That agency that we have in the world today may not be a perfect system, but we have a responsibility and a duty, because we've been given much. We've been given the very presence and power of God, and we've been given intelligence. We've been given the physical place and space through which to operate all of the gifts that we have. We have this thing called voting. This thing called voting, it is the way in which I help mature the world around me. And you and I know that in just a couple of days, we are facing one of the most important elections in United States history. And a lot of the things that we say matter to us are at stake in this upcoming election. And don't tune me out right now. Don't tune me out right now. Well, Rev Kev, I don't like a civics lesson in my Sunday morning. Too bad, we're on it. Because the master teacher reminds us that no, you have both civic duties and spiritual responsibility, that we must be whole beings, two hemispheres coming together to impact the world around us. There's no bypassing it. Go ye therefore into all the world and make the world better. This that I've done, you will do this, and even greater things. We're called to do the greater things. Well, Rev Kev, I don't think I have much of a choice in terms of who I'm casting my vote for. I don't know I don't know that I really feel that I've got much of options. And so let me just be clear about this for you, because this idea of perfecting candidates, perfecting people who are rather than fellow citizens and colleagues who have thrown themselves forward to say, yes, I will represent the very best of your ideas and ideals for our society, this whole thing of perfecting people. What's more important is that we stick with them and hold them accountable. So I want us to take for a moment our eyes away from so much a candidate, but not know who we're voting for, but what are we voting for? And so recently I gave a lot of thought to this, and I'm going to go to Facebook and pull up something that I want to share with you. And then I want you to contemplate this as we take a moment to just meditate on what are we voting for? If you would just open your minds and become receptive to this reading. I'm not telling you who I'm voting for, but I'm telling you what I'm voting for. And I want you to be able to go to the polls knowing what you're voting for. I'm voting for Black lives, the uncaging of babies, the unbanning of religious groups, the closing of prisons for profit, the equal funding of all public schools, the erasure of redlining, the right of women to have sovereignty over their minds, bodies, money, and their businesses. I'm voting for the planet and her waters, wildlife, lands, and skies. I'm voting for dismantling systemic racism and the full reimagining of public safety. I'm voting for legalizing love and criminalizing hate. I'm voting for schoolyards to be safe havens and domestic terrorists to be public enemy number one. I'm voting for the banning of assault weapons and the building of community centers. I'm voting for bad cops to be prosecuted and good cops to be rewarded for reporting bad cops. I'm voting for the unarmed, the undocumented, the unseen, the unknown, and the underrepresented. I'm voting for the minority-owned business boom and unions that make sense. I'm voting for sanity in the Oval and for mental health and rehabilitation services for active military and veterans. I'm voting for the rich to play fair and for the eradication of homelessness and poverty. I'm voting for a scientific response to our prayers for relief from the pandemic and a divine response to correct the science deniers. I'm voting for my 3 biracial children, my multiracial, multi-faith, international spiritual community. I'm voting for millions of my ancestors who are lost in the Middle Passage, the millions more who never got a chance to cast a ballot, and the generations who lost their lives fighting for my right to cast my vote. I'm voting for my first generation and native peoples whose tribes were robbed of these lands as strangers in a place that we call home. I'm voting for truth and reconciliation, and I'm voting for reparations. I'm voting for sanity, civility, dignity, democracy, humanity, and unprecedented leadership in the White House. I'm voting for the future of our world as we know it. I'm voting for the dreams of the unborn, for you, for me, and for the journey in between. I'm voting for a kind, just, global society. For this, I pledge my vote. We have double duty, beloveds. We have responsibility for those who cannot be here, those who are here now who cannot act for themselves, and for generations unborn. Contemplate with me right now how you will exercise your spiritual and civic responsibility as we take a moment to meditate now. Take a deep breath right now. Drop right into the center of your heart. One more deep breath. And affirm with me, I cast my vote for the past, the present, the future, and a kind, just, global society. I cast my vote for the past, present, and future, and for a kind, just, global society. I cast my vote for the past, present, and future, and for a kind, just, global society. I cast my vote for the past, present, and future, and for a kind, just, global society. See it, feel it, know it, and do it. Amen. Amin. Ashe. Aho. Hotep. Shalom. Peace. Namaste.
And a prosperous mind, I'm fearless. Hey, I'm fearless. Break me down real quick. We're going to get on out your way now. But we want to help you to affirm and get fear all the way out of here. And if you've been listening, Rev Kev gave us an acronym a few weeks ago. It said that fear is false evidence appearing real. Anybody know that? So it's in those times when you're beginning to feel afraid and feel the uncertainty that you have to remind yourself that fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. Is that all right? Right. So you can sing it. If you don't want to say it, you can say, fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I'm fearless. Y'all got it? Say it with us. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I'm fearless. Say it again. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I'm fearless. One more to yourself, say, I'm fearless. If you got to put your hand on yourself and say it, I'm fearless. You don't got to worry about a thing. You're fearless. God's got your back, don't worry. I'm fearless. God's got your back, don't worry. I'm fearless. God's got your back, don't worry. I'm fearless. Hey, I'm fearless. I'm fearless.
Give him some more love and appreciation.
I'm fearless. I'm fearless.
Tell somebody, God's got you, God's got you, God's got you. I'm fearless. Fearless. Somebody needed that this week. Woo! Thank you, God. You go back into your week fearless. It's already done. The presence has already gone before and worked it out. It's already done. Can you believe it? Yes. Can you accept it? Yes. It's already done. Oh, today was a powerful day. This was a rich and powerful experience. And I know your souls are recharged, your batteries are refueled, and you are ready. You are now ready to face life. You have the tools. You have been spiritually equipped. You're pointed in the right direction. The path that is before you is yours for the taking. So trust that your encounter with us here at Unity of Sacramento was for the highest good and greatest joy of all. You're charged to be a force for good. And so we're grateful that you attended today. We're grateful that you are part of our community, and we invite you to help us have an even greater impact through your generous contributions to this ministry. You know, your individual support makes a huge impact in all that we do on this campus, and we've been going strong. This December will be our centennial Christmas, 100 years. We've been going strong, and it's because of nothing more than your generosity. So I invite you to give, and here are the ways you can give to Unity of Sacramento.
You can always go to www.unityofsacramento.com. Right there on the front page, on the top, you will see a donation button. Click that button. It will take you to our safe and secure push pay portal. You can also give from our app. Our app is also safe and secure. This is the way that I love to give. It's so easy.
Me too.
Just download the app onto your smartphone or your tablet, and then from there, look on the front page on the bottom for the giving heart. Press the heart. It will also take you to our push pay portal. And then finally, you can do what you saw so many people do. They love to write us. You can write us as well. Write us at Unity of Sacramento, 9249 Folsom Boulevard, Sacramento, California, 95826.
More now than ever before, people are shopping online. It's another way to support your spiritual community. You can simply go to Amazon Smile and look for Unity of Sacramento. Select this as your preferred non-for-profit. And when you're shopping, you will automatically be making a contribution to Unity of Sacramento. So consider using Amazon Smile when you are shopping and select Unity of Sacramento. And that's another way you can support this beloved community. Well, it was so good being with you this week, and what a powerful week that lies ahead for you and me and our entire nation. And you hold the key. You hold the key to allowing us to have an unprecedented future, because your voice is your vote. And so we're looking forward to all of us playing our part, doing what is ours to do spiritually and what is ours to do civically this week. I'm asking you to make sure that you get out and vote. Bring as many people with you as possible. And remember, Unity of Sacramento is a polling place. We look forward to seeing you here, and let's make history. Peace, blessings, and I'll see you next week.
Today with a special message just for you. We are all home. Family.
this, clap your hands like this if you believe